Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Drinking Shed.
Welcome back. What day is it?
It's Friday, yes.
Friday night.
Yes. Obviously, if you watch this in 2 days, we're off, but nonetheless, it's Friday where we are right now.
Yes, today.
I'm Darren.
And I am Rob, once again. Yep.
And tonight we're going to talk about something that's, really the kind of the bane of the existence of a cocktail that, you just have to get right. It's the most important thing.
It is, in fact.
It's not, but it's important.
It's super important.
But yeah, it's not the most important.
It's the lifeblood of the cocktail.
It's the lifeblood of the cocktail.
I think it is. I really
If you can't tell what I have in front of me, I have ice in front of me.
Ice.
You know what else I have in front of me is a wonderful, wonderful Black Manhattan. We have a video up on what the Black Manhattan is, and if you haven't tried one, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, so that is, we've talked about it before, but that's just a quick overview, is that we replace half of the vermouth or all of the vermouth with Amaro. I like to do a 50-50 of sweet vermouth with Amaro, and add that to your bourbon or rye of choice, and it creates this Black Manhattan. It just takes that Manhattan and puts it on another level that you would normally not get. And we take it and we put it in a barrel and we let it sit for a month, and we've been...
Now we're back to another Black Manhattan.
It's been a good Friday.
Yeah, it has been a good Friday.
Yeah.
So these are wonderful.
Yeah, we've enjoyed them.
Yeah, had a nice barrel-aged Boucaré earlier as well.
We did. Yeah,
so that's good as well. So anyway, back to ice.
Back to ice.
The reason we talk about ice is because you go to a bar and you order something, or you're in somebody's house, whatever, you order something, and you see different kinds of ice come out, right? And Jesus, ice is ice, right? No. The reason being is, really, you need different ice for kind of different things. And I'm not going to tell you got to have this for this or this for this, but it's just kind of a quick explanation of why we use different things for different things.
Different things for different things. Write that down.
Yeah. Your standard out of the
that's right out of the refrigerator
ice,
which is white
as can be, because it freezes from all sides in, therefore it doesn't get very clear.
Do you get that though? I mean, do people understand that, why ice becomes the way that it is versus the way that it is?
And by the way, looking up clear ice on Google will send you to places you're like, oh my god, what are these people doing?
Yeah, so we posted on Instagram. Yeah. We actually put our blocks that are clear on Instagram so you can see what they look like. And that's not a short-term endeavor. That's actually a journey to learn how to do that.
That's an entirely different process.
But we're just covering, this is out of the refrigerator. You have a couple other examples of things that come out of the freezer that are easy to do.
So I would say 90% of the time we use ice out of the refrigerator because we're basically putting it into a mixing glass, we're putting it into a shaker, going to town, and we're having a cocktail. So really this is ice.
That's our shaking ice, for sure.
Yes. Now, what I do want to say though is that what we're doing right now is pretty bad for the ice, so to speak, and for the drink. If you leave it out here and you grab ice out and you throw it into a shaker, you throw it in a mixed glass, whatever, there's a whole sheen of water around this, and that actually starts cutting down on the alcohol content right away when you're making a mixed cocktail. And you might look at it and say, who really cares? Well, if you're going to grab 8 or 10 pieces of ice, put them into a mixing glass or into a shaker and do that, that's actually a lot of water.
Yeah, there's a lot of dilution.
Yeah.
Because we were just talking about that earlier, taking 120 proof down to 80. And how much water it actually took to...
Exactly. It doesn't take a lot of water to lower that proof.
25%.
Right. So you really need to watch out when you're doing this, right? You need to make sure, one, you don't put the ice thing out on the whatever, the table, and you're going by and grabbing ice out of the ice bucket. That's not the best.
Cold.
Yeah, it needs to be cold ice, and that sounds funny to say cold ice because obviously ice is cold.
It's true.
I would say second most that we use is probably the big blocks, right? I love the big blocks. They fit into a rocks glass really nice. Obviously, they don't fit into one of these. They don't fit into one of our other little ones.
The coupe glasses, though, we shake and then we strain into a coupe glass. So that's different than coming into a...
But if you're doing like a rocks glass, something like that, that works perfectly. And I really like the squares. They last generally a couple of cocktails, right? You pour a little water out at the end. You have to be a little careful. There's going to be some dilution in there, but I wouldn't drink really straight doing that.
That just tells you how fast we drink when we say a block can last 2 cocktails, because most people it would last 1.
Now the other one is a lot of times we'll use these little glasses, and I really like look at that water in there. I really like a ball A ball fits perfect in there, right? I like that. I'm not a huge fan of these, just for the simple fact that I think they're a pain to make when you do it. Putting the water in is the biggest pain. But I like the way they look, and it's kind of cool to watch them spin in there when you're having a drink.
From a surface area perspective, this is our best way to go.
Best way to go.
The square's far easiest way to get what you want from a day-to-day activity perspective. That's why we use that.
Yeah. And then I also have, of course, where we have it, the big ball, which you would put into a bigger glass like this.
Big, giant, almost like tennis ball size, right?
And if you ever want to see people do cool things with the big ice balls, go up online and see that, and you'll see some people doing some things. You're like, holy cow, it's pretty amazing.
You need to go search that out because it's a really important piece that he's talking about. Where
it's some fun stuff.
Guys do some crazy things with those ice balls. It's amazing from a cocktail perspective.
How they think them up is beyond me.
Yeah. And half freeze it, take out the insides, refill it, and freeze it again.
Fill it with booze.
Yeah.
With a stick through it, put it over like Bacardi 151, light it on fire. It burns through the ice.
Melt.
Everything falls down in there, and now you have a mixed cocktail.
It's unbelievable.
It's like, who would think that up? But it's so cool.
The guy's killing.
That is so cool.
There's no question he's killing.
Yeah. The last thing we're looking at is, what we call a wedge glass, right? So you have a wedge of ice in there. Basically, you're filling it up, you're putting it in there. These are actually pretty cool. I only have one real complaint about them, and that's the fact you get a couple of drinks out of them, and then the ice is pretty much gone.
Yeah.
So then you got to drop your own ice in there anyway.
Right.
And I don't have enough freezer real estate.
But on a weekday when you're going to have one drink during the week, this works fantastic.
Fantastic.
Right. You fill it in, you fill it up with water, it freezes, you pull it out.
You're done.
And you just pour your cocktail in, and it fills it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest thing we're really saying about ice is, make sure you're getting your ice directly out of the freezer. Don't be leaving it out like we're doing. This is very poor right here. We'll have to shake these off and throw them back in the freezer. But you want to watch out because of that dilution and
filter it.
Yeah, filter it, right?
Or use spring water.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Use good water if you can. But for the most part, this is kind of how we do ice. This is who the heck would ever do a video about ice?
It's not complicated, but it's complicated.
Who the heck would ever do a video about ice?
I know, but we put that on Instagram. It's an easy subject to talk about, but it's a hard subject to master.
It really is.
Clear ice is a great stretch goal for everybody.
Yes.
And that's why I put the hashtag clear ice, because they've got it going on. They know exactly what they're doing.
If you have a wife, she's not going to be happy that you're trying to make clear ice.
Yeah, it's a lot of freezer space. It's a lot more effort than you think from a home perspective to make clear ice.
It is. It's a lot of when you get your little igloos, you get your
you put a hole in the bottom,
you do all this stuff.
Because that's the thing right there. You just said it has to freeze from the top down to make clear ice. When you have this and it freezes together, what we were just talking about, that's when you get this impacted ice, which is full of material or air bubbles. When it can push everything down as it freezes from the top down, that's when you get that lake effect, and the ice is clear all the way through.
And I'm telling you, if you've ever had a cocktail with a completely clear ice cube, it's pretty cool. You look in there and you're looking at it going,
I'll post that on Instagram for our last, we did a couple cocktails with that. I'll post that on Instagram so you guys can see it.
Anyway, that's an entire video about ice. Wow.
Hey, who knew?
Who knew? Yeah. Anyway, as usual, thanks for stopping by The Drinking Shed, and I'm Darren.
And I'm Rob.
And we hope to see you again soon.
Thanks for coming by.
All right, bye-bye.
Cheers.